Hey everybody, this is Talkative Carl back again with another video for Deadliest Warrior Life Commentary. This video will be reviewing the KGB versus the CIA episode. Um, yeah, I mean, this is like a fairly average episode. Like, I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. Uh, it was an interesting one because when I first heard the episode, I'm thinking to myself, like, during the height of the Cold War, when these two organizations would have already met before in a fight. Uh, but only one of them managed to live on, which is the CIA. Well, the KGB, after the Cold War, when they lost, defunct. Pretty much, there's no KGB. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's still remnants of people who used to work in the KGB, some more older individuals out there. But by and large, uh, the Russian government doesn't have a KGB organizations, uh, at least not like that. Or maybe they just took on new form. Who knows? I'm not familiar with like the ins and outs of like Russian hierarchy or military personnel. But unlike Russian spetsnaz, which we all know they still do have in their military organizations, but so far as spy agency, they probably have like a whole entire different thing than it was back in the Cold War, but still a fun episode nonetheless. So get your timestamp to 0. Uh, I'm gonna go ahead and adjust my seat so I can watch the video. Hopefully, you know, YouTube don't pick this up because I already got it on low volume, so it should not be a problem. And hopefully the mic doesn't pick up too much of it. So yeah, get your timestamp to 0 and get ready to press play when I say now. And in 3, 2, 1, now. There's gonna be a lot of concealment type of weapons here. Now, unlike we're in the episode of Al Capone versus Jesse James, where they, you know, keep talking about like we're concealing the weapon. It's like this is the only episode where you would be more concerned about concealing the weapon because these are like spy agencies. We can't have them outright just carrying big guns that's obvious and plain to see. So this is an episode where that actually matters. Yeah, I guess they went defunct after 1991. I keep forgetting that the CIA was first organized in 1947. I think a little bit after the fall of after the end of World War II. Maybe at the tail end of the end of the World War II or right when it was over. I mean, they were prominent. They both prominent in the '80s when this was going down. Don't understand why. You know, I never understood why. Like, I mean, I understand why the matchup, but usually when they bring warriors into an episode, there are warriors that would never have met in battle. And there's only like one other episode in season 3 where like most definitely they would have met in battle, but it's kind of like a unique. It's like this episode in U.S. Army Ranger versus North Korean special ops. Like these are the only two episodes that come to mind that these warriors would have already have met in battle before. And personally, I do like episodes more so where like warriors have never met in a combat situation. That's what make it fun to see personally. Yeah, it was right after World War II. That's when like the CIA was created after the atomic bomb, which I think Albert Einstein was a part of. I'm pretty sure it was him, and he was like completely like regretted or just hate the idea because it's like a triumph, but you know it left a sour note in his mouth, given the fact that this can easily lead to our own destruction and the danger of hurting like a lot of people. This make you feel like you're playing like Call of Duty or something like that, like Call of Duty Cold War, which I was toying with the idea of getting it when I got a PS5, but the interest kind of died down. But I don't know. I mean, I'll leave it up to you guys. If you guys want me to play Call of Duty Cold War, you know, I'll consider it. I don't know. At some point, I want to get back into a Call of Duty game, but it's just like it has to be like a great Call of Duty game uh, for me to. Cause I know it's Call of Duty Vanguard that's supposed to be coming out, but it's like once again, it has to be kind of like Black Ops, where it got like such rave reviews, and it's like not only good multiplayer, but actually has a good campaign at the same time. That's what like it has to have both things because like I don't know, I can easily play Overwatch if I want to just play some multiplayer. But yeah, leave a comment below. Let me know if uh, I might enjoy playing Call of Duty Cold War, and I will definitely consider getting it and do a walkthrough and playing it for the PS5. But that's the thing. It's like I almost forgot about the. I might have to just get it from maybe like the Xbox Series S because I contacted, just a quick note, I contacted GameStop, like an employee, to ask about like stores, extra stores capacity that I can buy for the new consoles. And there's one for the Xbox Series S, but that runs like somewhere near $200 to $300. Uh, but they don't have nothing for the PS5 yet. But it'll eventually, when something like that comes out for it, it'll run the same kind of price tag. So for the time being, I'll have to like remove a game so I can put a new one in instead. So since I don't have anything for my Series S for the time being, I can just get Cold War for that console. It's not a big deal. Plus, with the cross-platform, a lot of new consoles and games are doing. I don't really have to worry about having to get it for the PlayStation. Because aside from like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which I play every now and again on my Xbox Series S, because I don't feel like pulling out my Xbox 360 Elite in order to play that game, which I have uh, the hard disk of it. I just figure like I just buy the game on cheap, play it on my new console. That way I don't have to keep moving like the console all around every which way. But besides that, I don't have anything. I don't have anything for the Series S for the time being. So at least not until the new games come out, like Halo Infinite, which I definitely want to get. And just mow down that entire target. As I, I I was like always concerned, like, okay, how do you miss a target? It's like 4 or 5 targets that you need to take down. How do you skip one? Or I know they didn't skip it. Like, how do you forget one? Did you count on the other partner to like nail that one or something like that? But it's like you know you line up the shots. It's like headshot, chest shot of one target, then target number 2, 3, 4, 5, and like you don't like. Did you stop that 4, or did you randomly like just shoot like how you miss one? I mean, that's a you know very different level of handling particular missions. It's like the KGB is autonomous, by themselves to handle certain things without having to check in with their superiors. But I think it's kind of like important to make sure that there's like some level of hierarchy and like you know you need your superiors in order to get certain things done. It's like you know the CIA or any other U.S. organization, they need to check with the superiors in order to get information and handle certain things. And it's like if something goes wrong, they had checks and balances, so that way no one can just behave like they said in a thuggish manner and just like without any checks on their part. Yeah, I mean, you have to obviously pick your shots. It's like kind of obvious. It was a good choreograph right there with that fight, that little fight scene right there. And that is where aftermath. One of the questions the uh, fan asked for one of the CIA experts is that like do you keep all this secret from everybody? And it's like for the most part, yeah, but if you're married, uh, or at the very least like a very very long term relationship, you definitely tell your significant other that you're completely serious with or in a serious relationship with. And if you have kids, you keep the secret from them until maybe they're old enough to keep that secret because they are your best allies at home more so than anybody else outside the organization. uh but beyond that, they they don't tell nobody what they actually do because by and large a lot of the CIA operations are classified for obvious reasons. That's probably one of the biggest blunders from about by the CIA, the fact that they failed to take down Castro, because that the whole exploding cigar is like the most cartoony way, some level of Looney Tune, uh, a way of killing somebody. Well, I was like, wow, and it's like this. So you get a exploding cigar from well, like they of course they have to make it, but it's like you get the idea from a Looney Tune episode. Seriously, well, like what's next? A falling anvil? a pea-sized C4. Like, it has to be in the middle. The C4 piece in the cigar, or at least close to the middle. No, it can't be in the middle because that would be taking too long. It has to be like fairly like a couple of inches away from the lit part. I mean, I agree with the KGB guy. It's like it's too the odds of it pulling it off is low because it's like anything could happen where it's like he could easily put that thing down and it just went off away from him. Yeah, I think like for the most part, the American-based organizations love using C4 because of the bigger boom it provides. But any other place outside of the U.S. always go with Simtex because it's more precise. But it's just like, wow, it's like we're like the like that. We obviously can't be the only ones, organizations to utilize. Uh, hey Ash, thanks man for the praise, man. It's been a long time coming. Don't know what I'm gonna do whenever I reach like 1,000. But I'm not doing that one chip challenge thing again. If you ever want to see me eat one of that spicy chip thing, check out my video, share it, whatever. But I am never doing that again ever in my life. My stomach was like hurting. It's like one top five worst pains ever. Uh, Top five worst pains that I felt in my entire life, easily. I want. Speaking of spies, I cannot wait for the new James Bond movie. Cause, matter of fact, it'll be because I will do a spoiler review for that. But it'll be interesting, for like, because unlike Mission Impossible, I think it's a because Daniel Craig has been a consistent Bond for several movies now, at least a good handful since Casino Royale, which is like easily like one of my favorite James Bond films. But GoldenEye is my top favorite of all James Bond movies. But not only he has been a consistent Bond for a handful of movies now, for the course of going on 10 years, I think. Uh, but he's the only Bond that actually had like kind of like a arc to his films that each with different villains, but there was like a secret organization that kind of like as you saw in the last Bond film, uh, they all connected in some fashion. So it's kind of like had like a thing going on, and don't know if he's gonna die in this last one, or he's just gonna retire and have like a new Bond take up the mantle. Uh, but it'll be an interesting thing to do moving forward when dealing with like a you know James Bond films, where it's like the through their course of their 007 career, they'll have like a handful of movies all interwoven together into this big arc. And then by the end of their career, they'll either die or move on. So another person will do the exact same, have their own little arc, and be a Bond for several movies. And I think that'll be like a good way to do it instead of like the old way of them doing it prior to Daniel Craig, where it's just like one and done villains in each movie, and they're not like connected in any way. Don't even know if they're still gonna release the new Bond movie this year. I think they pushed it to next year, I think. God, I'm just curious to see like by today's spy organizations, like what kind of spy tools that they use nowadays compared to like what they used to have, like like this like camera gun or like briefcase guns, like this kind of cool little weapon that you don't realize it's a weapon because it's just like I don't know, it's like exploding, pen kind of situation. Like it's like I don't know, it sounds ridiculous, but it's like you kind of like that from a spy movie to have like cool little gadgets like that. Oh, it's being released this October. No Time to Die is released October. October 8th. So of this year. Oh, so they didn't move it. So that's cool. Or at least didn't move it any further beyond that. Because they did have to move it a couple of times because of the pandemic. But I can't wait. I think that'll be like in fact, when's Venom 2 coming out? Because before I go on my vacation, I definitely want to see Bond. But Venom 2. Oh, October 1st. Holy crap. So I'm probably have to go see 2 movies in a row next month. Yeah. So like 2 weeks in a row. So Venom 2. Because I usually go on. I have to work on Friday, so I usually go to the movies to see uh certain things on that Saturday. Usually in the morning, but because of COVID, they moved it to like the earliest I usually have to go see a movie is like 1 p.m. So uh yeah, so I'm going seeing like Venom 2 the first by the end of the first week of October, then the week after James Bond No Time to Die, back to back. And the next film that I'll probably see will be Eternals, and that won't be until November. Uh, Not too long right after I come back from my vacation. Shoe knife. Ugh. And especially if you're dealing with somebody who's specialized in kicking capabilities like martial arts, then having a shoe knife is like extremely deadly. The fake blood, after all this time, it still looks hilarious. I mean, it doesn't always look fake, but because they do eventually get better. But man, in certain shots, it looks so doggone fake. Kingsman is another film that like I want to do a review of. I'm not going to see like the prequel. I don't think I'm that interested in seeing that. But the first two are very good, and I kind of slept on the first Kingsman. I didn't really see it until like when it came on cable. But yeah, there's been like times when I slept on certain things, and like Knives Out. I caught it in the theaters in this last week because so many people loved it so much, and I didn't understand or didn't think I would care until like eventually, like I'm going to check it out. It's like what is the hype about it? And easily became one of my favorite films. Yeah, I gotta give it to the shoe now. It's like garrotes are cool, but is literally on literally only effective when you're surprising somebody from behind. When you lose that, it's like it's not an effective weapon. Maybe if you're like, so good at like, using it to maybe disarm your opponents, but honestly, in all honesty, it's like that garrote is only effective in one way. There's been a fair bit of people's like comment back in the day about how like like oh well, I'll bring it up later, but I'll wait till after the final fight. I think the suitcase gun is probably my favorite weapon out of this entire episode because I just love the idea of a suitcase gun. A suitcase gun. You're talking about like true spy type of weapons, where it's like something so concealable. It's like something like Q would make for you. A fight where I really want to see is like James Bond versus Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible. Now that I think would be best to utilize Daniel Craig's version of James Bond, since he's like the standard modern James Bond, and see him go head to head with Ethan Hunt. A lot of people like say like, oh yeah, that's totally Ethan Hunt, but like, is it really? As a matter of fact, that'd be a good versus discussion video some point in the future. Like, just look over their stats between the two and like overall skill and weapons that they utilize throughout their film. And yeah, I will be like focusing on like Daniel Craig's version since he's the modern. Who do you think will win between the two, like Daniel Craig, James Bond, or Ethan Hunt? This mission, if you choose to accept it. And something happens to you like while you on a mission, it's like, I mean, honestly, what keeps you from like, you know, whoever like your family is, like, how would they know what's going on with you? Just leaving bloody prints everywhere? Sure. Could just spray down that entire bathroom stall if you had a feeling he might have been hiding there, but whatever. Shouldn't CIA members know how, like the know there is a thing such as dead drop spikes they should look out for when on a mission, so they know not to touch it or try to open it. I mean, yeah, as I was trying to mention earlier, I didn't want to spoil anything, but obviously, yeah, the CIA won, but a lot of complaints, back in the day was like, oh, it was like a American made, show. Of course, they can't have their U.S. based warriors lose a fight, but keep in mind their, first U.S. military base warrior lost against a Spetsnaz Russian military soldier. So it's like, you know, you gotta admit there's probably not. Obviously, you can't be biased because it's who knows. It's harder to I believe there's no bias to this because they actually using some bit of science. It's just a lot of people who like are uh fair bit of saltiness to them, but I like to believe that there's some legitimacy to the show. So anyway, what's your favorite weapons out of this? Favorite and least favorite weapons seen in this show, at least in this episode, I should say. Because yeah, that briefcase gun, I love that briefcase gun. It's so awesome. But yeah, and also if you guys think I should, do a walkthrough and play a bit of the Call of Duty Cold War multiplayer, leave a comment below. I will consider getting it for like a small walkthrough for you guys. But yeah, and then I'll be moving on to the final uh episode of the month, Vlad the Impaler versus Sun Tzu. That's something I really want to do for you guys. It's like, honestly, uh one of my favorites out of season 2. So yeah, I want to get that rolling. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff to Talkative Carl on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Share this with your friends, especially those who enjoy the Deadliest Warrior show. And yeah, and I'll see you guys in a little bit.